Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. I had a love in high school, and when you are 16 and you're in love for the first time, it is the most intoxicating, all-consuming, great love. I think that first love might be your most intense love of your whole life because it is the first and you experience so many firsts with that person. He was so wrong for me, but so oddly right for me at the time. But it started a habitual pattern with the men that I dated. He would break me, and I would slink off in tears, feeling completely alone, not understanding why someone who says they love me could hurt me. And then it was like the only thing that could make me feel better was him. So I would break up with him. I would isolate myself in my house. And eventually, in a couple of days, he would come back and apologize. And it was like temporary relief from the pain that I was in. It was like he was the only one that could hurt me in that way. And then he was the only one who could relieve the pain. This cycle went on for 3.5 years, where the one who broke me was the one to fix me. And eventually I went away to college and we did the long distance thing for a while, and eventually I outgrew him. And I ended up dating a guy in college. I went for the totally different type. My next boyfriend was a football player. He was really athletic and into fitness, and he was an alpha, and we would go to these amazing step shows, and I lived in his world, and he was awesome. And when he would break me, I would isolate myself and wallow in this excruciating heartache. And it was only he who could provide any relief. And the cycle continued for the next 3 years, where I would be broken by the one who said they loved me, and then only feel better when they came around. It was like a constant hamster wheel of heartache and makeup, breakup and makeup. And then my relationships went on, and every relationship I had, however short, was the same. I remember being in a relationship in the early 2000s. Sounds so weird because I still think last 10 years ago was the 80s. So I don't know what I'm doing. Or the 90s at the very least. I feel like 2000 to 2010, did that even happen? I don't know. It was the same thing for me. Constantly in turmoil with the person that I loved, and I would be in this pain, this fog, moving about my life, going out with girlfriends, trying to keep myself busy, all the while consumed with how heartbroken I was, knowing that the only way I would get relief is when he came back to me to apologize, to make it right. And the first few days that they come back, it is so intoxicating. It's like a drug, and you can't get enough. And you're on a high. And then life doesn't sustain that. So real life comes back. The problems that you have are there, and you go through it again, and eventually you remember why they broke you, and you reject the behavior that is hurtful or disrespectful, and then they break you again, and you isolate yourself and you try to stay busy, and then you realize that the pain you're in is so all-consuming. The only thing that will make you feel better is them. So once again, you let them back in, and they come in, and they provide sweet relief, and everything is better. Food tastes better, music is better, sex is better. But part of you is slowly dying, and the cycle is chipping away at your self-esteem, and you no longer truly recognize who you are, and you wake up one day and you go, how did I get here? How did I become the girl who runs back to the person who keeps breaking me to put me back together? And you start to become resentful. And you start to go, wait a minute, this doesn't work for me anymore. How many times can you hurt me? And how many times can I allow it? And how many times can I keep going back to the one who hurt me? And eventually you start to find other things that bring relief, because you leave yourself no choice. You set boundaries and you say, I'm not going to allow the person who continues to disappoint me and hurt me be the one to put me back together, because you've only proven you know how to break me. You haven't proven that you know how to love in any way. What you're doing to me is not love. What you're doing to me is abuse. And I have confused it with love because I have been on this ride for so long. The truth is this. I know that space of believing wholeheartedly, so truly and so consumingly with everything you have, that the one who has hurt you so bad, the one who has broken your heart, is the only one who can make you feel better. And I promise you, the one who broke you can never be the one to fix you. Fix yourself, and then spend significant time trying to figure out why you would ever want to go back to the one who broke you. Stop the cycle. Don't spend 15 years on that ride like I did, because it keeps going around and it'll make you sick. I love you so much today. Have a great day.